Hello, Flosstube fam. Welcome on back, or welcome on in if you've never been here before. My name is Dace. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm going to be talking about all the cross stitch that I've been up to during the month of April. This video is very late, but that's because you almost didn't have this video. I've already recorded this once, and I had an audio issue. So I'm going to try again. This might be a little bit rushed, but I felt really bad about just full on not making a video. So here we go. Attempt two. We're going to get into the top down view and we're going to get started right away with our Eeveelutions possibilities rainbow. There it is. So here we have got all the progress that I've made on Eevees, not just in April, but also this month. Again, we're recording this on the 8th of the month. I've already pretty much met my goal on this for this month, so I might not show it next time. But for now, we can have a little look at what's been going on. So I think last time we were probably somewhere up here. I have since worked all the way down past all the purple of Umbrian, and I've also worked into the blue colours of the splash that comes off of Eevee herself. The exciting thing here is I have Q-snapped up the bottom of the project. There are a few hundred stitches left to do in this column. I remember getting to the bottom of that and getting so fed up of all the pink that I didn't want to do it anymore. So I went back up to the top, and now I have Q-snapped up the bottom corner. So over the next 2 months, we'll definitely fill this in and start working in the final leftover zone of Eevee's face. So exciting times. This project is now coming towards 93.5%, so not too far off of that. I probably won't even bother showing it next time. All I've got to do is put a few more strands of blue in and I'll have done for the month. So enjoy it while this lasts and hopefully you won't miss it too much next time. Our next project is a Meeting of Tangled Paths by Stephanie Freeman Law. So this project is a piece of watercolor art and I've really enjoyed how this has worked up this month. I've found that all of the stuff that's really in the background with the light shining through is looking really good, and I got like this whole all of this page has been stitched this month basically. So the colors on this project are actually quite vibrant. The camera is not quite picking that up, but you can see all of the details working up. It's starting to take good shape and I'm really happy with the progress. Every single month I get 1.25% on this, and this month I got it to 35% in total, and I'm really excited about that. I think that's a nice number, you know, divisible by 5. And next month we'll be taking it to 36.25%. So next month you probably won't actually see all that much progress in it because I probably will have Q snapped up the next page and left this one behind. But of course, when I get the page finish, I will post it on Instagram. So you can always check out the progress on there. If you want to see that, you can just go to my Instagram linked below and wait for it to pop up. Uh, our next project is also a Queeman Law, another one of my monthly goal projects. I have 4 of these now. So Raven God is a sort of smallish project. It's about 106,000 stitches. And every month I put about 4% into it. So this month I worked up in this area here. Basically, I thought it was going to be really confetti heavy because of the detail in here, but actually every time I started a thread, I could just keep going with it. And ultimately, I feel like I had a pretty good month on this project. I didn't really hate it as much as I usually do, and it worked up quite quickly. However, next month the story might be different because I want to go back into this section here. So I've added 4%, so I've gone from 64 to 68%. Next month it will be going up to 72%, and I'm going to be doing all that in this area. And it's really confetti heavy. I really don't like the way this is charted, and I don't really like the way that it looks compared to the artwork. it's not too great, but I'm going to persevere. I'm going to just get this out of the way. And then the remaining, like, just over a quarter of it should bring some more interesting elements like the wizards here. And we've got all these really detailed patterns in bits of the trees and the ground and some mushroomy bits. So I don't think it's going to be all doom and gloom for the rest of this project, but here's where it is right now. And I cannot wait to see the back end of it, hopefully in December. So here's one that I do love seeing every single month, though, and that is Pod. So our lovely Pod, we love our Pod. Here he is. How is he coming along? Pretty good, actually. I got him from 70.67% to 75.74%. So I added a solid like 5% to him this month. All of the damage was done over here. So there was a lot of confetti in his speckles, but what I did was I just kept carrying on with the threads, which is why I've ended up with the edge of his body pretty much done there. Did a whole bunch of background over here, all of the white in the feathers. Actually got to a point where there's not a lot of white left to do. There's only a few hundred stitches left of the light blue color that goes in there, so that's looking promising. And the best bit about this is when I am past this sort of area, in fact, I think most of the confetti is done now. Most of this going forward should be quite simple and quite pleasant to stitch, especially when I've done with this page, which I plan to do next month. And then for the rest of the time I'm working on this, I'm doing these sort of dark colors that are mostly in big patches along the bottom. So these are just some part pages down here, and they're going to work up really quick and quite comfortably, I think. So I'm really looking forward to working on this more and also getting it finished at some point this year. I don't have a planned date as such. I'm just going to keep putting what I can in every month and see where we end up. The next projects I have to show are the Whip Go calls. So this month was Ann Thomas and Saga. So Ann Thomas is first up. Ann Thomas is on a 40 count linen that I dyed myself. And I think we made some pretty good progress this month. So over here, I got the moth, this entire flower pot. Some more of the wreath was worked up, the flowers in the wreath, and I even put a little bit in on Walter the Pigeon as well. So this is a Hands Across the Sea sampler. I don't have percentages for this because it's a paper chart that I have, but we're just over halfway through now, I'd say. I think we're well into halfway. All I have to do is finish this flower pot off, put all this wreath in, finish the pigeon, do the bottom two massive chunks of border, a couple of floral motifs here, and another little wreath down here. So there's a lot to do, but I've made sure that this gets plenty of slots on my Whip Go board so that we can keep pulling it out, keep working on it, and get it to a point where hopefully I can finish it fairly quickly next year. And so far, I'm really happy with the progress that we've been making, and there's bound to be a fair bit more progress coming up because it has been called for next month. I'll explain more in a moment. There's a dog barking outside. I'm really sorry if the microphone's picking that up. So our next project was Saga. So I've actually only had one Whip Go on this. Typically with Whip Go, they get two streams. I just haven't had chance to have the second stream on this project yet, but I will. So hopefully you'll see this. Maybe not next time. I'll explain in a moment. But for now, the one session we have had on it has added all of this section of the arch and this little bit of beehive as well. So hopefully next time I get this out, I can get the bee in, the other beehive, and finish this part of the arch off, and maybe even some of the stuff up here as well. That's what I'm hoping for. This is on a 25 count even weave. It's opalescent, so it's sparkly, and I dyed it myself. And I'm stitching it in a sulky thread. I can't remember the number of it right now, but it's a really nice bright multi-toned thread, and I really love working on it. I'm not sure this is going to look particularly good when it's on a wall from a distance, but I just love working on it. It's so fun to work on, and I really look forward to seeing it again really soon. We got it from 7.22 to 8.09%, so even one session, it adds a good little percentage, and yeah, I just look forward to seeing more of it in the future because it's a big one. To date, it's still the biggest long dog sampler that Jules has put out. Full coverage Friday. We had two projects this month because I think I worked on Pod for one of the full coverage Fridays, and for the other one, I did some. Oh, well, you'll see. So, Memento Mori was first up, and I only had one session on this, like I said, but I still managed to work up all of this skull. So, Memento Mori is by Urban Stitches. It is a full coverage blackwork project, and I'm probably coming up. I'm about a third of the way through, I think. So I've worked in this area. I've got the dark area of the top of the skull all filled in. And next time I work on this, I might continue down here. I might go back to the start of the next row and fill in a bunch of the background. I don't know. Haven't really thought about it. I don't know when this will show up again. I just make sure that when it gets called, I do work on it, or it'll never get done. But the picture's gorgeous, it's working up fine, there's a whole load of errors in it. It's just mistake after mistake after mistake, and we're rolling with it, because Urban Stitches is a fudger, not a frogger, and I intend to do the same. I have fudged so much of this, it's unreal, but it's coming along, it's working up okay, I'm fairly happy with it. And I don't mind working on it when it's actually out. Our next and final full coverage Friday project is actually Snow Day. So this had a session as well. Snow Day is a piece of art by Bill Belt. I don't think the chart is available anymore. And it's one of those projects where I only really have this piddly little new start. But we're coming up to a point where we've probably got about half a page on it. So I'm actually quite pleased considering that I've only really had this out for the new start and for full coverage Fridays occasionally. I have no intention of spending loads of time on this project or working on it or focusing on it. It just comes up when it comes up, and I'm actually just happy to see it when it does come out. So far, we've got just some sky. It's all blue and grey with a couple of little snowflakes in the background there. But I think the effect is actually quite nice. And it's really pleasant to stitch so far. I think when we get into the actual picture elements, the confetti is going to get really bad, but we're going to deal with that when it comes. I got this from 1.14 to 1.52%. So yeah, super early days. It's 200,000 stitch project. It's going to take some time. Next up, I actually have a new start for you. It's my first ever artsy housewife, and it is a bevy, a beavy, a vivi. It's a something of beetles. I think it's a kind of Christmas style pattern. So first of all, I'm going to show you the threads that I'm using. So I've gone for the fancy cotton conversion. I don't yet have one of the colors, but it's on its way. It was out of stock when I first ordered them. And here's what the palette looks like. So we've got a really nice pink in there, sort of golden green, creamy color. So these are like Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks. We've got like some brown in there, but this like gorgeous red purple color, another green, nice bright rusty red, and some nice dark brown, and a nice creamy yellow. So it's a really nice palette. I'm really excited to use all these colors on this project. Quite a few of them have already had a go. So again, this is only a new start. I didn't do a huge amount on it. I'm working up on a 25 count even weave dyed by the Stitchy Ferret. So the crosses are quite big since I'm going over two, and the camera refuses to pick up my lovely green fabrics. I don't know what it is about green. The camera just does not like them. It rejects them. So here's my new start. And so far, like I said, I was missing this green color, but it's on the way. I promise it's on the way. I'll probably work on this a little bit at some point this month. With that new thread coming, I'm gonna want to put it in. Uh, yeah, the big crosses don't fuss me. I think they look quite nice. We've got a bit of the wing in, a bit of the border already. I can find some stats. I have got the tablet in front of me. So we're at 6.33% so far, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love this, and I was gifted this chart, and I'm really, really grateful for it. I basically looked at the chart and went, what color fabric do I want to do this on? Because the palette is so strange. It's got so many different tones in it that I couldn't quite choose a fabric. I was like, maybe a nice like minty green or a limey green would be good. And this fabric just stood out when I saw it at the Stitchy Ferrets Stitchy Day Out. So I thought I'd go for it. And yeah, I don't regret my decision at all. I think it's lovely. I just wish I could show you it a little bit better. I don't think this camera's going to pick it up much better either. No. Oh well. There's my new start, and hopefully you will see it again next time, because I would love to work on that some more. Next up, I actually have a finish. So last month we did a community craft along with Masked Bandit, and the theme for the month was animals for April. I looked through my whips and I found an animal that I very much wanted to get finished. So here we have got Julbocken, and I must say, I think this has turned out really, really nice. So I have stitched this on a piece of discontinued fabric from Jodie Designs. It's opalescent, it's very sparkly, and I worked it up in Queen Bee by Classic Colorworks, and this is the result. My finished project. He is absolutely lovely. Well, she's absolutely lovely since I'm calling her my Jilly Goat. She's my memorial piece for my stepnan, and I think it came out absolutely lovely. I really enjoyed working on this, and I just think it came out so good. I I powered through it. I was like, I'm finishing this thing. So this is why I don't have as many full coverage Fridays. I think I worked on this instead for one of them. Yeah, is she lovely, eh? Oh, the fabric's so long, I need to trim it. But there you go. I love you, Jilly Goat. And I love that the variegation in this thread is subtle, but you can still see it. There are areas where the dark parts of the gold shine through, parts of the light gold. And yeah, I'm just happy to have a finish. This is a chart by Modern Folk Embroidery. I really like Modern Folk Embroidery. I've had a few conversations with Jacob, so I really recommend that you check Modern Folk Embroidery out if you haven't already. Next up, I have got my special long dogs, if you will. So, first of all, Sansu C. My stats are now outdated for this because, again, I've worked on it a little bit since I wrote the stats down. But this is my tiny long dog. It's on a 56 count linen over 1 in a very fine sewing thread. And this is where we're at now. Believe it or not, we're now at 92.9%. So we're looking at one more update on this before it is finished. I'm really, really pleased with this progress. Look at this. I got all this corner done. I do need to add some backstitch there, and there's going to be some more backstitch to do around these houses at the bottom. But overall, I think we're seeing this as a finish, not this month, but the month after. This has been worked up by my community over on Twitch, 30 stitches at a time over the past 2 years or so. I'm really, really happy with how this is coming out. I think it looks pretty bold and strong considering how small it is. And I look forward to continuing on with that over the next 2 months because then it will be gone, which is exciting but also a little bit sad. Our last whip for the day is our ugly long dog, Indiscretion. Now, this has been worked up by my subscribers over on Twitch, so every time someone subscribes, they're allowed to choose any DMC that they like, and I add 30 stitches to this project. And for gift subs, I make a random number generator decide which color we're going to put in for 20 stitches, and this is where we are at now. So this month I think we put in a whole bunch kind of in this area here. I can't remember where this was when you last saw it, but it's now at 51.15%, so it's over halfway done. We've got some of these bright electric blues keep popping up, and people just keep making interesting color choices, man. They're like, what's going to look really gross next to this purple? How about we put this horrible grey and this green and this cream and this minty color? I don't know where I'm going to work on this next. I might come back over and finish this off. You can just about see someone decided that a really nasty lime color would be good there, and I haven't really continued on with that, so I might just finish that motif over there before I come over here. But this does rely on people subscribing to me over on Twitch. I don't ever expect anyone to subscribe, but if you want to come hang out over there, I'd really appreciate the company. I stitch on Twitch 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 6 p.m. UK time. So come join us over there, show us what you're working on, tell us about what your plans are, things like that, and I'll just stitch along with you basically. Next whip, I haven't loaded up the picture for. Oh well, it's a piece of black work, and I actually forgot I was showing you this. So this is the last whip. I worked on it a little bit over the last week, but don't tell anybody. So this is a black work design. It's called Red Letter Day, and I can't remember who it's by, but I'll link it below. It's on Etsy. And this month I've just put in this little guy here. So this I'm working up every 3 months. I'm getting a quarter of it done, in theory, with my friend Sketch, and hopefully by the end of June, all this will be done. Hopefully by the next update, I'll have 2 squares done because I'd like to kind of get ahead of it. It's a really easy kind of pattern to do. It's quite quick. I only really work on it on Sundays for an hour or two though, so I'll just have to force myself to put in a few extra threads and that'll work up nice and quickly. But yeah, that's my Blackwork project update. I do have one more thing to show you, although I'm now officially out of whips. So I went ahead last week and I framed up a project that I finished recently. So here is Temptress of the Cursed Sea in a frame. Look at that. This is Temptress of the Cursed Sea by Bella Filipina, and I got her in a frame just from an online shop that I use. She would have looked nicer with a mount, but I didn't want to risk getting a colour that didn't look very good from the online store. So I just kind of went without one, and she came out so good. She's really, really cool toned. She's got a really like cool color situation going on, despite having quite a lot of purple. Like even the purples are quite cool ones. And when I framed her up, the first thing I noticed was 3 beads were missing from her crown, so I had to kind of like retroactively sew those in. So that made me feel a bit like a wizard. But yeah, the frame itself is kind of like a mauvey brown color, so it kind of plays on her purples with this kind of silver line going along. So I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to see it up on my wall. She's so good to stitch. She is so stunning. The beads on her just absolutely kill me every time. She just looks so good. I will never do over one skin again, I'll tell you that for free. There are errors in the skin and everything, but we're not talking about that. We're just talking about how cool she looks. She's so pretty. So we're going to go on to the Discord now and have a little look at the finish parade. I keep forgetting to mention to people to put things in the finish parade. So if you are one of my Discord people and you would like me to show your finishes, please pop them in the finish parade channel so we can have a little look at them together. This month we have got a deco with Metamorphosis by Bad Stitch. You might remember I stitched this last month, and Adiko has now done his version, and he's done it on this dark blue fabric, and I think that looks really nice with the pastel colours on top. So that was really nice, lovely finish and framed. very fancy. Christina did a cute little rosebud pattern. I think this was just from like a magazine or a kit or something from a long time ago, so we don't know who it's by, but it's a lovely little stitch, really decorative, nice colours, pretty little thing. Needle in the Hay has come through with another little horde of finishes. This is so cute. Oh my god. Cute crocodile by Tiny Modernist. It is cute. Look at that. I love it. It looks so cheeky. Pigeon Puddle by Blue Flower, 46 count. Owl Forest Threads. Ooh, nice. Bit of stash busting. I like that. This pigeon is adorable. I love pigeons. Pigeons are like one of my favorite animals. They're definitely up there. And this little guy just staring into his own reflection. A portrayal of Narcissus, if you will, with all the daffodils. And not being funny, Needle in the Hay and her photo sets are just spot on every time. Oh, another one. A vintage kit of a goose. Look at this little frame. That's so cute. It's like one of those frames with felt on that are kind of velvety and soft. Oh, that's a really pretty goose. I like that. Very picnic goose. Very nice. Oh, and another one. Okay, Needle and Thread Society. Needle and Thread Stitch Society. I do apologize. So, hello from Liz Matthews. The Gothic Raspberry on this is actually so nice. Look at the way the variegation works up. Red and black. I really like that. And in the backstitch too. And look at this FFO. The trim on the edge. It's just perfect every time. So I think that's that. Right. So my plans for next month are no whip go, no full coverage Friday. Over on Twitch, I am monogamously stitching. This month it is Crafty Dynamite's turn with the community craft along, and I'm going to be working on Echo Lake by Mirabilia every single stream, and we're going to see how much I can work up in a month doing that. So that'll be interesting for a little bit of a monogamous mythical mermaid. And so next video might not be too long, but expect nice big progresses, and I'm going to try my best to have a nice big finish for you as well. So maybe look forward to that. If you hung around for this whole video, let me know what you've been working on down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see some of you over on Twitch, and maybe even next time. All right, I will see you all very soon, and have a good month of stitching.